All right. I get this question a lot, especially for people who have fatigue throughout the day, or you might feel like, I feel good at this point of the day. Why do I not feel good at this point of the day? What's going on, right? And you can feel tired still even after getting a full night of sleep. What's wrong with me? I feel like I can never get enough sleep, but then I have to get up. I force myself to get out of bed. I force myself to do things. But once I get going, mid-morning, then I'm fine, but it's so rough to get out of bed. This is really connected with our cortisol patterns, how our system functions and works, and has a huge impact on how our body refreshes, detoxifies overnight, as well as our metabolism. So when we talk about how this all works, the one thing that if you're like, oh my gosh, how do I get this tested? How do I look at what my levels show? Dutch test. So I'm going to put a link here in the comments. I'm Dr. Beth Westy, women's health and hormone expert, for those of you that don't know. And if you're like, I need to look at what's happening for my system, I need to look at what's going on, I really need a closer, in-depth recommendation on why my system is struggling, this is the test that we start with. Because it shows so much about what you have going on. I absolutely love all the detailed information and how it can answer questions for people if you've been struggling for a long time, right? And a lot of times it's not just a matter of, oh, take more melatonin, take less melatonin, take more of this or less of this. It's really getting your whole system on a different pattern. So this is a sample of Dutch test. This is one of the things we look at, your cortisol patterns. That's what I've drawn out here. So I'm going to draw out a sample of what this can look like, because your cortisol pattern throughout the day is tied to your circadian rhythm. So how your body would rest, repair, sleep at night. And one of the things I've been seeing so often now is cortisol patterns that are all over the place because of stress. It can be stress in the world, stress that you're dealing with at work, with your family, whatnot. It can even be the internal stress that your body has that's trying to process things. If your system is overloaded, if your system is exhausted, if you have a lot of hormonal imbalance, all of that, it impacts your stress levels and it messes up these cortisol patterns. So what that should look like, this is right away when you wake up. This would be in the morning, about 2 hours later. This is the afternoon, and then this is the evening, right? So you should have a mid-level amount here, and it should come up in the morning. This is your most productive alert time of the day. It should come down in the afternoon, so you feel like that little dip in the afternoon. That's normal to have a dip, but you should still have enough sustained energy through the evening, right? I mean, you're not going to have quite the same mental capacity and energy that you did earlier in the day, but you should still be able to do the things that you want to do, that type of a thing. Where the issue is if you wake up in the morning and your cortisol levels are down here, way down here, below range where they should be. You're waking up on an empty battery, like your battery didn't charge overnight. That's exhausting. That's awful to put up with. Absolutely awful to put up with. Because it takes so much energy then to get going. And oftentimes then, even if your level does come up within range here, it's not going to stay there for very long before it drops back down really low again over here. This is a common pattern that I see. Like, yeah, I do okay for a little bit, but then I really crash in the afternoon. And then at night, your levels are way up here. So your levels actually increase and you're like, I actually feel the best before I go to bed. I have so much energy at 9:30 or 10 at night. I can do all the things that I was too exhausted to do earlier in the day. Yeah. You're starting your day on sheer willpower. That's exhausting. That is taking so much of your mental energy just to get going for the day. One of my favorite things that I help with women is just to help them feel better and to feel more productive. They're like, I'm getting so much more done. And it's easy to get all these things done. It's easy to get these things done because you naturally have the right cortisol pattern. It's not that something like magic happened in your system. Your body's functioning the way that it should be functioning. Right? That's the biggest thing. So if you are stuck feeling like, gosh, I wake up no matter how long I've slept, even if I sleep in, I still don't feel like I can ever catch up on sleep enough. It's because your levels are too high when you're going to bed. So even if you're sleeping, your brain is still too active because of this. So you're never actually getting the right rest. Then you wake up the next morning with those levels just tanked. And then you're struggling through the day again. I see it all the time. And if you're looking at this thinking, oh my gosh, this sounds like me. Or this part sounds like me. I'm not sure about this, but this part sounds like me. Go in the comments, click that link, get yourself a Dutch test. Make sure that we're looking at exactly what your system needs. Make sure that we're diving into what your specific body will need, because without knowing what this is, you can make a million guesses or just kind of keep busting it through like, oh, I gotta do it. I gotta get out of bed. I gotta get out of bed. If I didn't have to get to work at this certain time, I wouldn't get out of bed, right? If you find yourself looking at your clock, just wishing you had at least 5 more minutes or 35 more minutes, you need to get this tested and look at what's going on for your system. So go in the comments, click that link, and then we can look at what your test results say so we get the right recommendations for you. From there, there's different options where I work with women. But I would love to hear if you're like, oh my gosh, yes, this is me. Let me know in the comments. I do look at the comments because there's a lot of times people are like, oh my gosh, holy cow, you just described me exactly. I know. So you're not alone. You're not alone. And it's nothing that you did, right? Oftentimes it's just that there's stress or other things happen in your life and your system needs different tools to take care of it. That's what we look at. What's going on so we can apply the right tools for you to help correct this imbalance so that you get to sleep really well during the night and you wake up refreshed, feeling like you slept. And if you're like, I don't even know what that looks like anymore, then you definitely need a Dutch test. So other resources I have for you are my books, The Female Fat Solution and The Female Menopause Solution. These are on Amazon. Great resources on how to eat for your hormones and your cycle. And then I also have my customized formulated tinctures for estrogen and progesterone. So this is Estero-Balance. This helps make and create the right amount of estrogen for your system, taken days 1 through 14 of your cycle. Progesterone-Balance, this is taken during days 15 through 28 of your cycle, helping your body produce and create more progesterone. And if you guys want more info on this and like fertility stuff, let me know, because I have some really exciting things that I want to share about this and fertility. But you can let me know if you want me to talk more about that. But I've had some amazing things happen recently. Woo! So that's what I got for you guys today. Please let me know if there's any other questions that you have. Or again, if you're like, holy cow, this is me, what do I do? Put a comment below because I would love to see it. Other resources for you to look at are my YouTube channel, Dr. Beth Westy. Subscribe to it so you stay updated on all the videos I have coming out. And then my podcast is called The Female Health Solution. Some amazing episodes are coming out recently, so make sure you subscribe to that as well. All right, have a great night, and I will see you later.